very much, and I would like to give the floor to Prime Minister ირაკლი ღარიბაშვილი.
Thank you. Your Excellencies, the ambassadors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm exceptionally pleased to be addressing you here today, and thank you, Georgi, for organizing this meeting. I think this is really important for us. And as Georgi mentioned, today's meeting aims to take stock of recent economic trends of Georgia and the role of FDI to discuss projects in the pipeline and to lay out the government's vision on how to secure a stable, more stable and flourishing economic future for our country. The ambassadors, their friends, a variety of platforms exist to discuss political and social issues. But today, as we're joined by representatives of the private sector, key international organizations and consulting companies, our discussions will be specifically dedicated to economic trends and cooperation. You already know that Georgia is a unique country. It has a unique culture, history, and heritage. But above all, it is unique in its resilience and ability to make the best out of a given situation. And this statement is true for the economy as well. Today, Georgia is a fundamentally different country from what it was 20 years ago, or 10 years ago, or even 2 years ago. And despite the obvious challenges, every day is marked by significant progress and new milestones. And these milestones ensure that we stay on track towards meeting our ongoing objectives of strong democratic institutions and rule of law, better infrastructure, a dynamic economy, and ultimately European and Euro-Atlantic integration. Today, I'd like to share our current position with you, but also to share some of the challenges we still face, and also want to present our ideas on how these challenges could be addressed or could be overcome. To briefly update you on the current economic and FDI trends, we present one of the most investment-friendly environments in the world. The World Bank ranks Georgia 15th globally for its ease in doing business, making it one of the top global economies for starting and operating a business. The Heritage Foundation ranks Georgia as the 22nd freest economy in the world. According to the Trace Metrics Global Business Bribery Risk Index, Georgia is the 11th least business bribery-prone country among 197 countries. As a result of signing the DCFTA with the European Union and Association Agreement, we now have a duty-free access to a market of 900 million consumers. And this is a great achievement for this country, for those who have business here in Georgia. And of course, it is a better chance to integrate our economy with global markets and supply chains. We're progressively taking on our natural role of regional hub. The new Baku-Tbilisi-Kars railway line, the Anakla deep-sea port, and joint efforts together with our partners to revitalize the historic Silk Road will undoubtedly further strengthen our country's transit role. 2015, so this year, marked the entrance of the first cargo train from China to Tbilisi with a travel time of just 9 days compared to 45 days by sea. The numbers speak for themselves and clearly show the immense potential of the new Silk Road project. For this purpose, I'm going to hold an international forum, Tbilisi Silk Road Forum, this autumn in October. So, I hope that many heads of governments and heads of states will attend this international forum. So these are just a few of the many key ongoing, I would say, projects here in Georgia. A number of promising projects are also in the pipeline in all key sectors of Georgia's economy. And these include renewable energy, agriculture, and food processing, hospitality and real estate, manufacturing, and logistics. All these developments, of course, draw an optimistic picture for the next few years. But however, such opportunities do not come without challenges, which we also need to address. So firstly, I want to tell you that we all know that still the difficulties in the region, recent turmoil in Eastern Europe, has considerably impacted on Georgia. Developments in Ukraine and Russia, as well as the global strengthening of the US dollar, which has affected the Georgian currency as well, present considerable challenges for us as well, which we need to tackle. Secondly, we understand that Georgia is privileged to be host to so many major international projects and to have the trust of global businesses. These businesses bring knowledge and top-notch expertise to our country, but we need to be prepared to push our workforce to be even more educated, to be more skilled and available in order to stay competitive and keep up with the increasing demand. My government is fully committed to encouraging this process, but the major challenge is time. And thirdly, strengthening institutions and ensuring the rule of law. So to achieve unwavering stability, we need to have more efficient, more effective institutions, better regulation, and effective service providers in the government. This will benefit all citizens in our country. So drawing on this, allow me to lay out the key aspects of our vision for economic development. How can we solve our problems? How can we get Georgia to a better place? And how can we push for growth? First, reform is a top priority, as is generally known. They must be sustainable and responsible. We do not only aim for short-term or good positions, short-term results or good positions in international rankings, even though these are very important for us. But we aim to introduce the kind of reforms which will have a direct impact on people's welfare. And this is our top priority. We have already carried out a number of successful reforms to the legal system, penitentiary system, protection of private and intellectual property rights, and healthcare. And we have successfully stimulated the agriculture sector. And this is just the beginning. Our major challenge is, of course, unemployment and poverty. Whatever we do, we always need to keep in mind this crucial factor. The need to reduce unemployment, create more jobs. The unemployment rate has decreased from 14.6% in 2013 to 12.4% in 2014. But of course, this is far too high. So, foreign direct investments plays a crucial role in tackling the challenges. Unemployment, so for better or worse, faced with a lack of natural resources, the only one way for our country to survive and to emerge successfully and rapidly is FDI. So this is a reality that Georgia will surely face for at least the next 30 or 40 years. Why FDI? Because in addition to capital, it brings in much needed know-how and expertise, I mentioned earlier, and creates real jobs. We, the government, do not want to be the biggest employer in the country. Georgia's economic model has to be about business. Businesses create real job, wealth, increase exports, and make the country competitive. So what is the role of the government here? How can it encourage business? The first step consists in not blocking or burdening business development. The government should ensure a healthy and fair competition environment where every businessman is guaranteed equal rights. So FDI will be of utmost importance to our country for the next decades. So this is why we decided to place the Georgian National Investment Agency under the direct supervision of the Prime Minister. So this is the decision that I wanted to share with you, and this is a change we made. Previously, the agency reported to a board chaired by the head of the Partnership Fund. So it created a lot of questions, and it was pretty unclear. But I think that this transition will help it to have better leverage during investment negotiations and to be more effective in supporting FDI projects within the country. The agency will contribute to better coordination. This is key among the ministries, as well as ensure their easier access for all investors at all levels. And when I mean all, including me, myself. And finally, I want to address one more challenge: awareness. I would not be exaggerating if I said that despite the regional challenges, we have a far better investment and business environment in our country than other countries. But as a small country, of course, we don't have enough exposure to the global business audience. The post-Soviet legacy, as we say, comes with a whole array of discouraging labels such as corruption, criminality, or bureaucracy, and we still have to struggle to prove that this is not our reality, although Georgia is a completely different country today, as it was 10 years ago, I mentioned earlier, or 20 years ago, or 2 years ago. We made a huge step forward. So this is precisely why working on awareness is so important. And this is why this meeting is so important with you. This is why we count on your support for introducing Georgia as an investment and business destination to the outside world. And ultimately, you are the key people whose role is to share unbiased and trustworthy information outside the country. And you are the real opinion makers in your respective professional circles. So I'm aware that you get lots of information from various sources, from local liaisons, from the press, from different political parties, and etc. And I hope that I can contribute also by providing you henceforth also with information directly from the government in an open and transparent manner. So it is also critical that I can benefit from your feedback. It is also interesting, very important for me to know what's your opinion. So this is why we wanted to make this meeting, to organize this meeting, to talk to you about this, once again, about the investment opportunities in our country and about this change. So before I close and give the floor to Mr. Bertaya, I'd like to thank you for attention. I'd like to thank you for coming and attending this meeting, and I look forward to working with you. Thank you.
ჩვენ დღეს გქონდა შეხვედრა ელჩებთან, საერთაშორისო ორგანიზაციებთან, ასევე იყვნენ ბიზნესის წარმომადგენლები. ჩვენი მთავარი მიზანი ამ შეხვედრის იყო ის, რომ გაგვეცნო მათთვის ის ცვლილება, რომელიც განვახორციელეთ. კერძოდ ჩემი დავალებით საინვესტიციო სააგენტო, რომელიც მანამდე იყო საპარტნიორო ფონდის დაექვემდებარებაში და მაინც არ იყო მისი სტატუსი გარკვეული და მისი ფუნქციაც არ იყო ჩამოყალიბებული ნათლად. ჩემი გადაწყვეტილებით მთავრობის დაქვემდებარებაში გადავიდა ეს სააგენტო და სააგენტოს ხელმძღვანელი პირადად მე, ანუ პრემიერ-მინისტრს ექვემდებარება. რატომ გავაკეთეთ ეს? ჩვენ შევხედეთ, რომ ინვესტორებისთვის იქნებოდა კიდევ უფრო მეტად კომფორტული, რომ მოხდეს უფრო მეტი კოორდინაცია სამინისტროებს შორის, რომ მათი ასე ვთქვათ მოპყრობა იყოს კიდევ უფრო მეტად პროფესიონალური და გეტყვით, რომ ჩვენთვის ეს არის გაცხადებული პრიორიტეტი ჩვენი მთავრობის, რომ ჩვენი ქვეყნისთვის არის უმთავრესი, უმნიშვნელოვანესი პირდაპირი უცხოური ინვესტიციები. ეს არის ჩვენი ქვეყნის განვითარების მთავარი, ასე ვთქვათ, სტრატეგია, რომ მაქსიმალურად მეტი კაპიტალი შემოვიდეს უცხოეთიდან საქართველოში, მეტი ინვესტიციები შემოვიდეს. და ჩვენ ინვესტორებს ამ გადაწყვეტილებით თავაზობ ძალიან ნათელ მესიჯს ვეუბნებით, რომ მათ მიერ ჩადებული თითოეული ცენტია იქნება აბსოლუტურად დაცული, რომ თითოეული ინვესტორი იქნება პირად პრემიერ-მინისტრის, ასე ვთქვათ, ყურადღების ქვეშ და რომ მათი თითოეული ინვესტიცია იქნება აბსოლუტურად გარანტირებული. რასთავარია, სააგენტო იმუშავებს პროექტებზე და ამუშავებს საინვესტიციო პროექტებს, რომელსაც წარუდგენს შემდეგ ინვესტორებს, რა თქმა უნდა, იქნება მჭიდრო ურთიერთობა სხვა სააგენტოებთან და გაამარტივებს, გააიოლებს ინვესტორებისთვის ურთიერთობებს სამინისტროებთანაც და მათ უფრო ეფექტურ კოორდინაციას შეუწყობს ხელს. ასე რომ მე მიმაჩნია, რომ ეს არის მნიშვნელოვანი გადაწყვეტილება, რომ კიდევ უფრო მეტი ინვესტორებისთვის ხელსაყრელი, კიდევ უფრო მიმზიდველი გარემო შევქმნათ საქართველოში ბიზნეს კეთების კუთხით. ჩვენ ვართ მე-15 ადგილზე მთელ სოფლიოში ბიზნესის კეთების კუთხით ვართ 22 ადგილზე მთელ მსოფლიოში, როგორც ყველაზე თავისუფალი ეკონომიკა. მე-11 ადგილზე ვართ ჩვენ კორუფციის რისკების ინდექსის მიხედვით მთელ მსოფლიოში. ეს არის ძალიან დიდი მიღწევა. ვართ ერთ-ერთი ყველაზე გამჭვირვალე მთავრობა, არა მხოლოდ ჩვენს რეგიონში, არამედ მთელი ევროპის მასშტაბით და ჩვენ წინ ვუსწრებთ განვითარებულ ცივილიზებულ ევროპულ სახელმწიფოებს, რომ ეს ბევრი ფაქტორი, რაც განაპირობებს უფრო მეტი ინვესტიციების შემოსვლას. და რაც თავარია, ჩვენი ადგილმდებარეობა და ის ფაქტი, რომ ჩვენ ვართ დამაკავშირებელი გზა, ეს არის ჩვენი ისტორიული როლი, ამ ისტორიულ როლს და ფუნქციას ჭირდება განვითარება. ჩვენ გვაქვს გასასვლელი 900 მილიონიან მომხმარებლის ბაზარზე. ჩვენ გვაქვს ავსტრიის ხელშეკრულება ევროპასთან, გვაქვს თავისუფალი ვაჭრობა თელს ქვეყნებთან, ასე რომ ამას ჭირდება უფრო მეტად ეფექტურად გამოყენება.